I'm inspired.
What's you inspired by?
So today is my 18th anniversary to this beautiful woman over here. 18 years. And you know, my testimony, man, our testimony, but I'm gonna say it from my story, how God wrote it with me. The way one day I'm just at home and living with my mother, paying bills, and my mom tells me, you got to get out the house. I mean, you're old enough, you're paying bills, just go get your own place. I mean, I'm helping. I'm not just living like no bum there. I got jobs and I'm going to school. So I go to my church directory and I just flip through this like paper. You know, in your church, local churches, they have places where you can get for rent. So I'm looking for a place for rent. And I remember, I think it was like fall time. It was somewhere like around September. And at the same time, I was studying for my real estate license. I was going to school at not Georgia State. I was at Morehouse at the time. Okay. It was before I transferred to Georgia State. I was going to school at Morehouse. And man, I picked 3 places. I went to the first place. It was in the west end of Atlanta, off of a road called Avon Avenue. And I called the lady. I said, I want to check it out. She said, yeah, you know, my house sitter, she had 2 houses. My house sitter will go ahead and let you check out the room. So I went and I checked out the room. I went down there, walked through the room, saw this big giant cockroach in the closet. I'm like, do I really want this? I said, nah, I'm gonna take it. I got to get out. It's like $350 a month. You're in college. You know, you just got to do the best you can. You drilling in the military. So, man, I called her. I said, hey, I'm gonna take the place, Monica. Cool. I move over there in 30 days. Another month later, she calls me and tells me that this girl is gonna move and live in the upstairs of the house. So you got the downstairs where the kitchen is, the bathroom and the other areas. She's got the upstairs with her facilities. I'm like, okay, cool. So the rules of the house was there was no drug. You couldn't have any drinking. You couldn't have any smoking. You couldn't have any women over. So if you're a guy, you couldn't have any women over. If you were a woman, I guess you couldn't have any guys over. It's right here. Guys over. Those were the rules of the house. So this girl moves in. She's staying upstairs, and it's cool. You know, I'm like, okay, she cool. We just being cool. One day I'm in her room just hanging out. This is all friendship too. Ain't nothing crazy. And I see this picture and she's like, I said, who's this? She said, this is my sister. I'm like, oh, cool. So fast forward about 30 days later, 60 days later, I'm in my room. I'm doing like I said, studying my real estate license. We midterm in school, getting ready for that. And I'm just focused. I was even down on beats. I had like a studio in my closet and all of that stuff, like recording music and all that. So I hear this knock on my door. So I go to the door, open it slightly. She said, hey, Leon, I just want to introduce you to my sister. I said to her sister, hi, how you doing? She said, hi. I said, okay, bye-bye. And I closed the door and I went right back to working. Man, I get ready to moving in North Druid Hills with my brother. This is probably like 3 months later, something like that. And there's a bunch of stuff from my room. It was longer. It was a bunch of stuff like scattered throughout the floor in the front room. And in walks this girl, and I look up and I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, Leon, remember my sister? I introduced you to her. I was like, oh. I wasn't distracted, y'all. All the things that was distracting me, I was not distracted at that time. That's very interesting. I wasn't distracted because school was a distraction. Real talk, I didn't even finish. You know what I'm saying? Still take courses here and there. Like, real estate really wasn't a distraction because it built my career. Like, I learned a lot from real estate. But man, everything else was distracted. So I didn't see when she walked in. So, man, I started talking to her. I gave her my piano, my electric organ. I gave her cause she sings, you know. So I gave her all that stuff from my studio, and And then there's the other part. You want to talk about the other part when when you tried to call me?
After we got the piano, or I got the piano from you, it was a few months later down the line where I got your phone number in November, because I was like,
how did you get the phone number?
From my sister. I took it out of her phone when she went to sleep.
She asked her sister for it, and then her sister was like, her sister said no. Tell the truth, her sister said no. You know? And then
said, hey. But I'm the older sister, and
older sister always win, so.
And I always am going to win. So I got his number, called him. I think it was like 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving evening. I think that was the first time that we had like a family reunion at our house in Pensacola that year. And we stayed on the phone until the very next morning at 5 a.m.
Yeah. First time on the phone.
First time on the phone. We stayed on the phone all night long. Like I had never done anything like that before, because again, I don't really give people, I've never given people that much, especially guys, my time like that. So you definitely captured my attention just in the phone call, because I had forgotten what you had looked like too.
So we dated 6 or 9 months?
8 months.
8 months long distance. 8 months long distance. And we were married, we got married probably about, that would be about a year after we met.
We got married in 2006, but we met in 2005. So yeah.
Yeah, it was less. Yeah.
In 8 months.
And most of that time was
because
long
we met
distance.
in November, remember?
Yeah.
And then we got married before the next year, November. So we got married October 28th, the very next year.
And I took a lot of long trips on the road down to Pensacola, leaving early in the morning to get there 5 hours to be hanging around this girl all day.
I took one trip up to Atlanta. In that time frame.
Man, one trip, and I don't mind. You know.
Yeah.
18 years later, man.
Yeah.
18
You
years
pampered
later.
me then, and you still, pamper me now. You deal with all of my qualms and my mouth, because we both know that I have a tendency of speaking my opinion. Very poignantly.
And like, I'm glad you said that, because when God presented you to me, He knew that you're very opinionated, and that I could actually handle an opinionated woman. I know some guys is like, no.
Yeah.
So it was a match. So I always say you get presented your match, your mate, and I believe God is always presenting to you those opportunities. My mind was in the right place. I hadn't been dating. I just was focused on going to the next level and what He wanted me to do. And that was how He was presenting you. Because I had presentations already. It was other presentations, but when you know, and I just knew.
Love you, baby.
Love you too. All right. Hey guys, we got some more for you. Like, follow,